Hey guys, in this video today, I'm going to be talking about self-sabotage. Now, why I picked this topic is because I personally have actually grown up with this same issue in my life. And it's been something that I've had to consciously work hard on as an adult to overcome. Some of you who are probably watching this video right now, actually you struggle with this thing known as self-sabotage. I like to simply think of self-sabotage as you yourself almost intentionally putting roadblocks in the way to you actually achieving and doing the things you really want to do. So you actually are finding ways to kind of allow yourself not to actually do that thing. Or even if you notice yourself actually, let's say, for example, being good at something. So whether it's in your job and you are someone who actually could be the boss, but you actually decide to stay at a certain level, which is probably under where you could actually be, purely because internally you either feel that you don't deserve it or you are questioning your own ability, even though others outside of yourself probably see how amazing you are, or they see how many great qualities and attributes you have, you yourself internally don't actually believe it. And that is how you yourself stop yourself from actually progressing, or you stop yourself from actually achieving the real deep down true things you want for your life. But because you have this internal conflict with yourself, you actually end up sabotaging opportunities or sabotaging yourself from really exceeding and going as far as you could. You might be really good at something, but the minute you start to hear others really give you that praise, giving you that positive feedback, maybe even wanting more of you and what you're doing, it almost sends you into a place of fear. And it sends you into a place of fear where you do everything to try and avoid them finding out that you're not as good as what they think you are. And that's what often is driving a lot of our self-sabotage behaviors. It's that underlying thought that actually I'm not good enough. And if I keep putting this out, it's only a matter of time before people learn the same truth that you are holding on to. So, key reasons, let's say, for why you actually self-sabotage is this issue around perfectionism. We probably are people who are very much well put together. We give off a really good image of having our shit together, basically. And when we almost have presented that way to the world forever, it's really hard to actually then try something that you don't know if you're going to be any good at. And because you're not pretty certain, or you cannot guarantee that you're going to be any good at it, you almost don't bother trying. Because to actually put the effort in and then to actually fail at it or not feel like you've done it well enough to a perfect standard or a good enough standard in your level of good enough, which is perfect, you just don't even go and do it. You decide, you know what, nah, I'm not interested, or nah, it's not for me. Or you'll get to a certain level in it, but you'll plateau there. And perfectionism kind of links with imposter syndrome, because that is one of the main things that I think keeps all of us almost bound to our chairs, where we watch everyone else doing the thing that we really want to do, but we don't actually get up and do it ourselves because we fear that people will find out that actually how we think of ourselves is actually that we're not good enough, or we're not worthy, or we don't deserve it, or we don't feel like actually we're capable of doing it. All these things drive imposter syndrome, and that fear that someone's going to find out that I'm a fake, I'm a fraud, I'm not as good as what they think, is what leads us to actually, again, self-sabotage and not do the things that we could easily, if we put a bit of time, a bit of effort into, could actually pretty much do very well. I think that there are some of us who the opinions of others means even more to us than the opinion of ourselves. So for many of us, we fear the actual judgment from someone else. Like, they're going to judge my work, they're going to judge this video, they're going to have an opinion on me. And actually sometimes we're so consumed by wanting to keep our image and what we've put out there to the world in order that we just don't actually put anything out there, if that makes sense. We just kind of stay in a safe box, not doing too much, but not doing anything that's going to kind of draw too much attention and focus. And that again comes back into that feeling of not really feeling like, one, you're as good as what people might think you are, but also you yourself actually having that sense of really not understanding your own value and worth. And that's what it really boils down to, because you yourself haven't yet got to a place where you actually see just how fabulous, fantastic and amazing you are. So in some ways it's highlighting to you some areas within yourself that you probably need to still work on, so that you don't end up in a place where someone's opinion dictates your life course, or someone's unkind word or positive word gives you a full sense of validation and purpose and everything else. You have to get to a place where actually your own word does that for you. One of the other things that can definitely be a reason for why you self-sabotage is actually the fear of failure. And I kind of mentioned it when I was talking about perfectionism, and it ties in again with imposter syndrome, but slightly different. But with fear of failure, it is a deep sense of fear that you are not going to be good enough. It's going to confirm that internal thought and belief system that you have buried deep within you, within your subconscious realm, that has existed probably for a very long time. And the fear of actually confirming that thought process, that belief system that actually you do hold on to somewhere deep, deep, deep within you, is why many of us do not even attempt. We don't want to actually be in a position where we actually ever fail really at anything, so that it actually doesn't in the fact confirm what we deep down feel about ourselves. Another one that I just want to mention is the fear of success. Now, this is something really, really important to mention, because I think for many of us who are probably watching this video right now, you are someone who has the potential to probably really excel in any area of yourself and your life and of whatever you're interested in if you really apply yourself. But what you also are grappling with is that real deep sense of, what if I actually make it? What then? Because what then comes with that is exposure. Because when you feel exposed, it actually can leave you feeling so vulnerable to either being hurt by others, betrayed by others, used by others, talked about by others, all these different feelings and factors that actually for some of us, it's better not to actually go and touch on that next layer of success, because of all the potential negatives that actually come with it. So for some of us, there's that real push and pull of the fear of failing, but also the fear of succeeding, because it's likely that if you really did apply yourself, you probably will be a great success. The danger is you may also lose some friends along the way. You may also pick up some haters along the way. You may also see a change in people who you thought really, truly loved you in a way that was true and pure and as real as you thought it to be. But actually you start to notice changes in them. You start to hear comments or remarks. And this is where so many people who talk about actually getting to that top place where they really wanted to be in their life, whether it's, basketballers, singers, musicians, whatever the case may be, those people who reach that level for themselves where they're now at a point of success, they've achieved that goal that they'd set, they sometimes describe the downside of actually being a success in their own eyes, because there's so many losses sometimes, there's so many negatives that come with it. And for many of us who ever grapple with this self-sabotage or struggle with it, we have some childhood trauma often laying deep somewhere at the start of this. There are sometimes experiences that you go through earlier on in your childhood that may have actually laid the foundation for some of those internal beliefs, those subconscious internal beliefs that you actually are holding, that actually connect to you sometimes not feeling good enough, not feeling deserving, worrying about losing others in your life if you maybe stepped up another level or another level, maybe thinking that people would think you are too nice or you are too full of yourself now. All those fear factors also are driving forces behind why we self-sabotage and why we in fact fear success also. And that's for another video, which I will touch on how childhood trauma can actually link to things like self-sabotage. So if you haven't already, make sure you click the video above so you can watch part 2 on actually how to stop yourself self-sabotaging. So remember to click the like button and of course hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. All right guys, take care. Bye.